Hello everyone, welcome to part 3. In this video we're going to touch up the symmetric symmetric side since our goal is to have an asymmetric looking texture and morph, and because we did a asymmetric morph and then painted, we noticed a certain artifact showing up, and this is perfectly understandable because when we're painting it's doing it at a per vertex symmetry base. So the vertices on this side of the eye, let's just show you here, right? These corresponding vertices are stretched up to here, right? And so when we paint on here, it shows up here, and this is what we expect. But it's not what we want, of course, but it's what we expect. So what we want to do is we want to touch up the texture to match the morph, okay? So first step of doing this is to go to Tool, Control, Mirror Symmetry, and turn off the symmetry. Right, because we no longer want to do symmetric operations. So the next step is we want to restore the brush tiling that we had before. So we go to Manager, Brush Tile Presets, and Face Main. That's the one we set up. And we're going to apply this to get it back again. So now if we hit V, here's the tiling that we had. Now let's take a closer look before we proceed. And we notice this side of the face is a lot brighter. That's just the lighting, the way the photograph was taken. This side is brighter than this, right? And it kind of washes out a lot of the texture details. Well, this side has got more details in it. So what we're going to do is, even though we're looking for an asymmetric look, we're going to cheat a little bit and we're going to flip this texture over and use this side over here. But on the brush tip, you click flip texture horizontally, okay? And now that's flipped the image over here, but now it doesn't quite line up. So let's do Shift V, move, fix plane, and line this eye up on this side, okay? And you know what? It looks a little rotated, but at the same time that eye fits in there really nice. And we do want an asymmetric look, so I'm just going to leave it exactly as it is there. And now we're going to, but first off, we're going to paint the new detail. But what we want to do is, instead of doing it on this layer that we created here, let's create yet another layer, okay? So we're going to call it Asymmetry. And now we're going to paint this new detail onto this layer. It just makes it a little easier if we need to trim stuff off around the edges and so on and so forth. So let's do Paint Tools, Paintbrush, Strength's 100%, everything seems good. We're on the asymmetry layer. Now let's just paint. Notice his eyeball is locked. We did that in a display group as we talked about before. And now we're just going to paint just around here. And let go. And voila, everything's fine except for that eye has restored because it was locked. Now we notice the tone is off again. And so we have, over here we have these colors already set up that we've picked from. We picked a yellow color from here and a sort of a pinkier color from here. And we want to drift this color into that color. So we go Color Adjustment Brush, Tone Drift. And we're going to do this whole area. And voila, beautiful. So we notice this area is a little dark here. That's just from the image fall off. Let's take a look here. See, it starts to get dark. So we're just going to trim that out with the eraser. And not too much of it though, because then, you know what? Because if we start trimming it too much, then we're going to expose the eyebrows underneath. What might be a better solution is the light adjustment brush, and we go lightness up, down. It's a really strong effect, so we want the strength to be weak, and we're going to click on here a little bit to lighten that up. Little baby steps. Take little steps and do it gradually. Really nice. And I'm going to go to the background layer and lighten this bit up a little bit as well. Anyway, you can spend some more time tweaking those details. So Let's look at her from the front again. There we go. So now we've fixed up that eye issue that came up with the symmetry. We have this little highlight that shows up on the lip right in the center. We're just going to clone that away. That'll be the easiest way of doing it. Strength 100%. Hold the Alt key to establish a reference point and just click and drag. And aha! You know what? That's not showing up. This is... It's the layer. Yes. We were not on this layer, the asymmetry layer, there's nothing there, all right? Because this is all transparent. And on this detail is on the face layer. So we can click in here and drag on that and to get rid of that. Now there's another way of getting rid of this, which is a brand new feature of only in this latest version, so you have to check for updates. It's called the highlight remover. And so if I go to light adjustment brush, highlight remover, and I set the lightness to, let's just start off a higher number first and work your way down if it's not working right. This says that anything over 70% lightness, we're going to fill it with the surrounding color. So these little white bits in here we can assume are higher than 70% lightness. So as we click and drag over this, and wait a second, we notice that they get dampened, like that pink is spilling into there. Let's do it again. And maybe one more time. There we go. So that's a nice way of toning down highlights without completely just removing them, where you're filling in those little white speckles with the surrounding color. And so you still get that little bit of detail, but it's less harsh. There's less built-in lighting effects there. So that's actually, I'll show you that in another video. Some better examples of that. It's really good when there's a lot of, if you have a really high glossy picture where there's a lot of, every little pore is kind of reflecting and you get all these little white specks, that will fill in those really nicely while preserving the texture without making it blurry. So that'll be the topic of another video. So anyway, so there it is. We've touched up the symmetric side, and so what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to use yet another merchant resource for the eyes, because we want the eyes to look something like this color, right? This kind of light bluish color. But if we just take it from this photograph, the resolution won't be that good because the eyes, when you get up close, there's a lot of really subtle detail, and even an extremely high resolution photo, unless it's really centered on the eye, won't capture those details. So we're going to use another merchant resource in the next video to do these eyes, and we'll wrap up the project after that. So stay tuned for one more video.